Matthew, please.
Sure, thanks a lot. Matthew Lee, Inner City Press, on behalf of the Free UN Coalition for Access. Thanks a lot for doing this briefing. I wanted to ask, I saw the UNICEF study put out last week, and it said that half of the women and girls suffering from FGM live in Indonesia, Egypt, and Ethiopia. So I'm wondering, in the countries you listed, didn't seem to include, does your work include Ethiopia and Egypt? And what about Indonesia? What can you say about what the UN system is doing on the problem in Indonesia? And I wanted to ask in Mali, I know there's a peacekeeping mission, MINUSMA, that's there. What do they work on this issue? What do you think that they're playing a role in trying to bring the issue down? Y acerca de Colombia, quería hacer una pregunta. Si un acuerdo de paz entre el gobierno y la FARC, si eso puede ayudar a ese tema, piensa usted, ¿qué relación hay entre la guerra civil y la tema que usted habló? Gracias.
So if I can start, we are working in Ethiopia and Egypt since 2008. And actually, we are, as you said, and as the report is showing, those are a huge population. And so we, of course, we are not yet implementing a national program. And this is one of the elements why we want actually to call more support from the international community and from national government. We need to move to national program to be able to have a national response. So far, the funding that we have and the human resources that we have, we are only addressing some areas, a small region, so etc. So we are trying to scale up, but it's very slow. It's slower than what we need to do. And so we are working in these areas. The population is huge, particularly Ethiopia. We work in the Afar region, which is one of the most discriminated and in need region also, because we are, as a UN, we have to also, address the issue of inequality and try to bring those who are left behind, on board. And in Egypt, we are working in Upper Egypt since 2008, and we are making a lot of progress if you look at the data. In Indonesia, UNFPA is working in Indonesia since 3 years, and have started with conducting studies. First, because you need to have data and to be able to do that. So UNICEF conducted those the household survey data, and UNFPA conducted surveys within the health facilities, because we needed to have the documentation of what kind of practice was done. And then this information was brought last September to the government level and was disseminated to government and stakeholders, including the Ministry of Religious Affairs and all. And I think that this is a turning point now, where we do hope that the government of Indonesia will start to have a bigger response. But UNFPA was also supporting the Confederation of Midwives since several years to work with midwives in some specific area where we are working. And they will be all today in the event in half an hour. The minister will be there, hopefully. And the Confederation of Midwives is not in the panel, but she's present and ready also to answer to your question. So we are working in those countries. And of course, Mali, in addition, she will answer maybe for the other element, but I should say that in Mali, we are also implementing a comprehensive program with civil society organization and supporting the national program against the FGM, PNLE, which is a program that is have been put in place by the government in 2011, and this is a political will also, because there is a national program, a national, coordination unit that has been created. But of course, we are still working to get the legislation. But while we are waiting for the legislation, the education of the communities and the capacity of civil society organization and the services are going on.
Thank you. Inna?
Nafissatou answered what I was going to say. And the principle, the mission of the MINUSMA right now is to keep the peace in Mali and protect the populations against terrorism and the war.
Thank you. Patricia.
On Mali, because It seemed like one of the basis of the people trying to break away is that the central government in Bamako wasn't necessarily providing a lot of services in the north. Are you aware, does the program you're describing equally impact in the north of the country? Timbuktu, Gao, all of that? Okay, so it's mostly a problem with the south. Okay.
Yes, I mean, FGM is mostly a practice in the south of Mali and not really in the area where we have the humanitarian crisis now.
Okay. Patricia?
Bueno, Colombia se encuentra en un momento decisivo para la construcción de una paz sostenible. Garantizar la salud y el bienestar de las niñas y las mujeres es necesario para que esa paz sea sostenible. Asimismo, Colombia enfrenta grandes retos para el 2030 en la Agenda de Desarrollo Sostenible, y para eso el gobierno y las instituciones como el Ministerio de Salud y de Educación necesitan involucrarse en acciones concretas con las autoridades indígenas del pueblo Embera y poner en marcha los procesos de formación para la erradicación de la práctica. Y es importante también fortalecer las capacidades de las comunidades indígenas para erradicar esta práctica, así como un desafío muy grande para el Estado colombiano es contar con información sobre la magnitud de la práctica y aumentar la capacidad de respuesta institucional.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we'll now conclude this press conference.